What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the sway bars on these RZR, and really this would probably apply to any ATV, UTV, whatever that you have. We're going to talk about sway bars and if it's a good idea to disconnect them or not. Now this particular unit is a 2012 RZR 4-seat 800, and it came factory equipped with a rear sway bar, but not a front one. It was never in there, so I don't know what it would be like with a front sway bar. But from the videos I've seen, especially of like the trail models and such, which again they're narrower, so I can understand them being a little bit more unstable, but it looks like they don't flex at all. So I'm gonna take this through a couple obstacles where I know that I have a lot of flex. I'm not gonna put it on like an RTI ramp or anything, because I value the real life look and what happens in actual life versus more of the, you know, just getting numbers off of a ramp. But we'll do that with the sway bar on and with it off, and we'll see how it does. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go fast and take some corners to see how it handles from stock in fast corners and things like that. And hopefully this will hood here can kind of be like a horizon. We'll see how that goes. Pretty well. I felt pretty in control the entire time. The body roll wasn't too bad, and we'll come do that in fast mo, or in with no sway bar on. That was close. And you see, I think that's a pretty good indication right there of the it's not up on there anymore, but the sway bar keeping that those axles from being able to move. Because when I ran up backwards onto that old lawn tractor, all it wanted to do was just flip me over to the side, because it wanted to keep the suspension in the same plane. Okay, so now after we've looked at it with it connected, we're going to disconnect this sway bar and see how it performs without it connected. Now what we're going to do that is just unbolt this linkage here, and we're actually just going to leave the bar itself in place. If you guys want to test this out, you can just take one side off and leave the other side on, and then there won't be any connection between the axles. So I'm gonna get started with this. These are both 15 millimeter bolts, top and bottom, just nut and bolt, one each, and that should come right out. Okay, so we took the sway bar off. Now we're gonna try the high speed run and see if it feels much different. I might do it a couple times just to kind of work my way into it, being that I've never done it with the sway bar off. But we'll put our helmet on first. Always when it's like 90 degrees out, we're gonna have a hot cup of coffee. This is a recipe for success. Here we go. All right, guys, with that high speed stuff there was noticeably more body roll, but nothing that I was really feeling like I was unstable with, as long as you know, just accepted that there was going to be more body roll. When we were going through those corners, especially that little S-curve type of thing there, I think we're going about 30, 35, and that's probably about as fast as I would have gone through there with the sway bars connected. And honestly, that's about as fast as I drive this thing around here, just because of the space constraints that we have. So all in all, the high speed, it wasn't bad. So I'm very surprised by that, because these are the stock springs that I adjusted for just ride height sag. So we're on just stockers and stock tires and everything. So on to the next thing. Okay, look at that. Right there, that kind of tells it all. So you can see how much distance there is between this link and the suspension and this link. The first time we did that, it damn near rolled us over, because the rear end wanted to push the entire ATV over by not letting that independent suspension perform independently. And that was a little bit of a pucker moment on my part. But this time, it's very in control. I never felt like anything was gonna happen. And then you can also see the front suspension. Again, no sway bar on these models. This would be the S model, essentially, because it's a 400 or a 800 four-seater. And so all that suspension flex just really helps out keeping the rig stable. And I tell you what, just driving around here, the ride is so much better without that sway bar on there, and allowing that suspension to do what it's supposed to do, instead of acting pretty much like a solid axle. look at how much more flex that has under there. Let's see, let's lower this camera down a little bit. That's a ton more. I think we're still lifting the front tire off when we come up this thing, but I'm gonna put the camera up there and we will see firsthand. All right, guys, overall, I'm really impressed by taking off the sway bar. The ride was a heck of a lot better. It had a lot more suspension flex. We were lifting tires and feeling like we were tipping a heck of a lot less. And that's the way I've always kind of felt about this this RZR, is that the rear end kind of always was in control. You go over something and the front tire, one would drop down the hole, and then when you come to the back, it would just and now it's a much smoother ride. High-speed cornering was a little bit more tippy, as can be expected. What I've heard is that if you put on a set of aftermarket springs, like a Racer Tech spring package or something like that, that it will be better as far as the roll is concerned. And also, I have my compression clickers on the top of the shocks set at the softest that they can be. So that probably contributes to it as well. So when I get home and I have more and better tools around, I'm probably going to take this other link off. I'm probably just going to leave the bar where it is, leave this bracket. I've been told that this bracket here is actually structural to the machine. I don't know if that's true or not, but I read it online, and it's not going to hurt me to leave it on there. And then I think that once I take this off, we're going to lose a lot of that squeaking because of these bushings here. Obviously, with it not connected to the other side, this is moving a heck of a lot more and squeaking a whole lot. So we'll see what happens when I completely disconnect it. But I tell you what, so far the results were amazing. The ride is so much better. I can't describe to you how much better it is. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to my boy's channel. He does toy stuff like Legos, putting together Legos and stuff. It's called Out of This World Toys. Check that out if you have the time, and I'll see you next time, guys.